Thank you, Allegra. Say what? Y'all better get your mind on Jesus. Is that BJ at the back? Are you good? Mission accomplished? Okay. Well, maybe that kidney stone just dissolved. Okay. I'm assuming we're on the World Wide Web now, considering it's 12:30. Not really. Is that Titus back there? Hey, Titus, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Happy. You just had a birthday, didn't you? Happy birthday. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, whenever it is. Oh, okay, Tina. We're no hurry. I don't know why she asked you ETA, because I say.
We're going to keep talking to you.
All right, all right. We are in agreement for a beautiful day. Everybody's here. The people that are on their way are safe. It's a beautiful day. It's a great day to be alive. We celebrate. We enter his gates with thanksgiving in our hearts, into his courts with praise. Everybody said, please remain standing, and we'll play the, what is this called, the intro?
Good morning, and welcome to Metron. Metron is measure or sphere of influence, and we want to help you find your Metron
Inez,
through motivation,
will y'all move to the front row?
enlightenment, transcendence, renewal, outreach, and networking.
Yeah.
Today is your day to find your Metron.
I think
And we hope you
Allegra's
enjoy the
right there.
service.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning, Metron people. Welcome. I'm glad that you are here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. So many people are out of town. I asked Ken, I said, how do you and Avery plan it to where y'all are always going at the same? Ernie and Avery are going to their son Jeffrey's 40th birthday. They were going to Texas, but it looks like they're headed to Chicago instead. It's a long story. Ken's on call, but I'm glad that you are here. And Tina, relax. We'll get your grandbaby christened in plenty of time. You're in no hurry. I mean, we're in no hurry. It's all good. So congratulations for the TV show that you were on the other night. How'd you get that gig? It's called The Originals. It's on the CW. How did you get that gig? Because you're famous and we have no idea who you are, and if we really recognize, would be. If you get a chance to go to his page, if you didn't see the show, it's oh, of course you do, Michelle.
Do you think they know how rare that is?
What do you mean?
Love someone for so long.
Look at you
Actually,
playing in that
until recently,
background.
Sylvie was a widow and Christoph was a bachelor.
The great Alex Marion on the CW, baby. We've certainly enjoyed having him here with us this month. He'll be with us one more week next week because July has 5 Sundays. But today's a very special and unique day, so I know he's got something wonderful to bring to us. Would you please welcome Alex Marion? Alex, come sing for us. He may need some help. Wait a
Well, good morning. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other, reaches to me. One more time, let's sing together. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other, strength like no other, reaches to me. This part it says, in the fullness of your grace, and in the power of your name, you lift me up. Oh, you lift me up. Yeah. You are my strength. Strength like no other, strength like no other, yeah, strength like no other, oh, reaches to me. You are my strength. I love this part, strength like no other, strength like no other, yeah, strength like no other, yes Lord, it reaches to me, yes God, so in the fullness, so in the fullness of your grace, yes God, and in the power of your name, you lift me up. Oh, you lift me up. Yeah. Unfailing love, stronger than mountains, stronger than mountains, stronger than mountains, deeper than oceans, you're deeper than oceans, reaches to me, it reaches to me. One more time, unfailing love, stronger than mountains, stronger than mountains, deeper than oceans, you're deeper than oceans, reaches to me, reaches to me. Yes, God, so in the fullness, so in the fullness of your grace, yeah, and in the power of your name, you lift me up. Yes, God, you lift me up. Oh, you lift me up. Let's stay there, guys. You lift me up. Yeah, God, you lift me up. Doesn't matter. You lift me up. Yeah, you lift me up. So one more time. You are my strength. You are my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. Yeah. Strength like no other. It reaches to me. One more time as a family. It sounds really great. Because you are my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. Yes, God. strength like no other reaches to me. It reaches to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord, for guitars. You know. It's just absolutely. In tune or out of tune. So, the next song I want to sing for you guys
Is an original. It's called Galaxy, and I sang it last time I was here. I'm gonna give you kind of the backstory again. So the song, I wrote it about 2 years ago, and so it's about basically about love song, and how I imagine love to be. So I imagine love as a galaxy. So. I want our love to be like the sun, constant till the day is done, still shining bright even through the night. I want our love to be like the sun. I want our love to be like the moon, pushing tides on the ocean blue, moving my heart closer to you. I want our love to be like the moon. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a galaxy in your eyes, universe in your smile, shooting star in your heart, galaxy in your eyes. Oh, I want our love to be like the moon, pushing tides on the ocean blue, and moving my heart so closer to you. I want our love to be like the moon. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a galaxy in your eyes, universe in your smile, shooting star in your heart, galaxy in your eyes. There's a galaxy in your eyes, universe in your smile, shooting star in your heart, galaxy in your eyes. Our love's always gonna stay. Our love's always gonna stay. Oh, our love's always gonna stay, even till the end. Oh, our love's always gonna stay. Our love's always gonna stay. Oh, our love's always gonna stay, even till the end. Oh, our love's always gonna stay. Our love's always gonna stay. Oh, our love's always gonna stay, even till the end. There's a galaxy in your eyes, universe in your smile, a shooting star in your heart, galaxy in your eyes. There's a galaxy mercy, smile, shooting star in your heart, galaxy in your eyes. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Oh, to you only. Yeah. 'Cause you give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord, 'cause you give life and you are love. You bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. Is your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. Your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. The earth will shout your praise, our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. Let's shout it together. It's all the earth will shout your praise, our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. One more time, let's try. Yes, all the earth will shout your praise, our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. Is this your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Oh, to you only. One time. And all the earth. And all the earth will shout your praise, our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. You guys sound amazing. Try it again. Yes, all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great, great are you, Lord. One more time. Yes, all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will. Great, great are you, Lord. Yes, all the earth. Yes, all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. 'Cause this your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you only. To you only. To you only. Oh, to you only. Oh, to you only. God, you alone, you alone, you alone, you alone, you alone, you alone, you bring life and you alone. Yeah, to you only. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you only.
Do a little more of it. Everybody's hungry for that. Just sing it. Do the part where you're declaring it.
It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you only. God, it's you alone. Whoa, to you only. Yeah, to you only. Yeah. Yeah, to you only. Yeah, to you only. Yeah. It's your breath, it's your breath. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you. Oh, Sing your own song of love. It's your love, your love, your love. It's your love, yeah. It's your love. Yes, God, it's your love. Yes, your love. It's your love. Yes, God, your love. It's your love. Your love. Your love. Your love. It's your love. It's your love. Your love. Your love. Now point to yourself. It's your love. Yeah, it's your love. Yeah, your love. It's your love. Our divineness is our ability to love. Your love. Yes, your love. God. It's your love. Yeah. Your love. Your love. Your
Beautiful. 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 Thank you, Alex, for creating such a beautiful atmosphere. Alex, Mary. Awesome. I love it. You may be seated. Beautiful, beautiful. Rachel, I didn't say good morning to you. It's good to see you. We miss seeing you every Sunday, but we know you're all independent now. Rachel's moved out. Hadn't looked back. Now, I'm glad. It sounds like you're having a good time there. I'm glad. I'm really proud of you. And everybody that just came in late, glad that you're here. Several things let me catch you up on. Remember, 2 weeks from today? 2 weeks from today, we won't be here. So if you're not going to St. Simon's, don't drive down here, or unless there's a movie you want to see. But we've got a really good group going. Look, let me just say this without any sense of sarcasm or irony. We're 18 years into the 21st century. Learn how to use apps. It's not that confusing. So you need to be on Messenger. If you're on Facebook, you already are. So if you're not, you can just, you have a phone. It's 2018. That little M, nobody's going to hack your emails. You don't have to put a credit card on there. It's just the only way I have to communicate with you to tell you where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. I can't put it all in a group text because that takes forever to write everybody's name in, and it's too cumbersome. So I just need you to, it's not difficult, so just figure it out. I'm not trying to sound sarcastic. One day this week, and if these people are watching, I love you. Nobody has any idea who you are, so don't be offended. I'm trying to send somebody money in the midst of 3 emergencies I was dealing with at once. And along with Christina texting me saying, I can't get the girls today. Can you pick them up from cooking camp? I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. But I was trying to send some money to some people, and I said, well, I don't have, I said, do you have PayPal? No. Do you have this? No. Do you have this? I said, well, I don't know. There's no other way I can get money to you. I'm in Atlanta. Avery's in Madison with the checkbook. I don't, well, tell me how to do that. I'm like, I'm in a car right now. I'm not even supposed to be texting. Go Google it and figure it out, and I'll send you some money. But I can't, I can't drive out there. And anyway, I'm just saying it's not that difficult. So like we had somebody visited here sometime back, and they said, well, I want to know, when y'all are doing stuff, because I don't come all the time. I said, well, we'll put you on the email list for shout-outs. Oh, I don't do internet. Okay, well, I don't know how else we can. I could drive to your house on Sunday morning and pick you up. I don't know. You're just going to have to. Look, here's the thing about the whole people knowing your business stuff online. Everybody knows everything anyway. So whatever you think you're doing, that's fine if you want to do LifeLock and all that kind of stuff. If somebody wants to find you, they can find you. So settle down, and it just makes, I don't even have a checkbook anymore. I do everything online. I pay everybody. There's so many ways to pay people now. You can do it through PayPal. You can even pay people through Messenger. Linda bought a painting up in Michigan, which still has not been delivered to her. But she paid through the Messenger. There's so many ways. The Cash App. There's everything but somebody literally coming to your house and giving you cash. So don't be afraid of it. It's not if it's the Antichrist trying to give you the mark of the beast, you already got it. So you can't opt out of that system. You just got to deal with it. Anyway, there's still time to go if you haven't made plans to go. Some people just got their rooms this week. And like I've told you before, there's hotels.com, Trivago, Booking, Priceline. I forgot to mention that one, but there's a lot of ways to find a place there. And there's every range of there's high-end stuff and there's very reasonable stuff. There's nothing trashy on St. Simon. So even if you go economy, it's still going to be clean and nice and whatever. It might not be right on the beach, but everything's close to the beach. So this is going to be really good. I believe it's going to be different from Jekyll, but I believe even better. And thanks, Eddie, for your text about it. I feel you on that. I'm kind of seeing there's definitely change in the air, and I'm trying to. There's kind of a building that I've been wanting, and I drove by it this morning, and I thought, that's not it. I said, whatever energy I've sent out of that building, I take it back. And I don't want to create weird hybrids, because I've done that before. You kind of halfway pray for something, and then you get a half thing that comes along that was trying to be created by your half words. And so now I'm like, I got to be really careful what I say. Something Leslie, a meme she posted this week. It's basically Mark 11:23, but I like the way it said it. It was something like, as soon as you believe what you say, you've created it. And that's Mark 11:23, but it's just, I like the way that's stated. That's why I like different translations, because sometimes you can hear the same truth put in a sort of a different way, and it'll give you a whole new meaning. Thanks for those of you that have done your hour walk and posted pictures of it. I really appreciate it. It's not that hard. And you need to kick that old trainer to the curb. What the heck is that? Yeah, 60 minutes on a treadmill, unless you're watching TV or something. It's a little bit of a, yeah, if you got music, it's okay. But thank you. That's, Reggie did his on the lawnmower. And there's Joanne's, and that's Natalie's. And so when I just scroll down and see that you post something, I go ahead and put it on Instagram. I might not tag you on Instagram, but I'm assuming you're all following Metron on Instagram. All right, now listen to this and take your legalistic hats off. The challenge for this week, and it's a challenge, it's not a law. The challenge is to go vegetarian for a week. Now, that's not going to be a huge transition for a lot of you. I don't care what you eat, so don't be texting me going, can I have chicken? I don't like, it's not a law. I'm not your nutritionist. It's a challenge. If you go out today and have a steak, nobody's going to judge you. What I'm saying is the challenge is this week is go vegetarian. What does that mean? Is that you know what vegetarian means. Don't text me asking minutia about your definition of vegetarianism. Okay? It just means don't eat meat for a few days. It ain't going to hurt you. And I'm not totally vegetarian. I basically don't. I'm at a point now I don't eat mammals anymore. But you know, chicken and fish. Sometimes you just can't. There's no way you can avoid it, and it's fine. And you know, some of you, I think you've gone exclusively vegetarian. That's a very, to me, it's like your spirituality. It's a very personal thing, and I believe in the concept of namaste with your diet. But also, if somebody is trying to do a certain thing, then don't make it difficult for them. Like it makes you look so bogus when, like, if this doesn't happen so much anymore. But when I post a picture of a vegetable plate, in the past, people be like, "Well, I'm gonna show you my T-bone steak." Like, this isn't a competition. I don't care. I've seen steaks before. You're missing the point. I'm not telling you what to do. Legalism has a real stronghold on people, even enlightened people. They have to really work at not being under the law. So all things are lawful. If our heart does not condemn us, this whole thing about right and wrong is something you figure out with your own Holy Spirit. Bishop, do you not believe in absolutes? The older I get, no, I do not, and neither did the spiritual people in the Bible. I mean, Jesus was walking through the fields with his disciples, and they start eating the tops of the grain off, which is unlawful to do on the Sabbath. Which I don't know why the Pharisees must have been stalking him, because they were everywhere he was. So they immediately come in and challenge him, and he not only defends them, he uses a scriptural precedent. He said, well, it was unlawful to eat the showbread in the temple, but when David and his men came back from hunting, they were hungry, they ate it. And he said, man wasn't made for the Sabbath was made for man. That one little statement, that's the gospel in microcosm. The Bible's not a rule book that we're trying to figure out how to work into it. Because you can make the Bible say whatever you want it to say. If you're wanting to believe for your marriage, stand in faith for the unbelieving partner, I can give you 1 Peter where he says, the husband can be won over by the godliness of the wife. If you're tired of him, I can give you 1 Corinthians chapter 7 that says, let the unbeliever go. You don't have any. I mean, they're two completely different concepts. That's why when people say, what does the Bible say about it? The Bible's all over the map. It says all kind of stuff. Some writers said keep your spouse. Other writers said get rid of your spouse. Solomon had 700 spouses. There's no, this whole legalism thing, it's bogus. That's not at all what the Bible writers had in mind at all. If you want to stay away from sinners, then I can give you 1 Corinthians 6. Come out from among them and touch not the unclean thing. What concord has Christ with Belial? If you want to go to the party, Jesus was a friend of publicans and sinners. I mean, they're two complete different concepts. That's why when somebody tries to start a Bible argument with me, I'm like, remember the Marcus Welby quote where he says, I won't trade insults with you, doctor. It'd be like dueling with an unarmed man. I'm like, don't start with me on Bible stuff, because I'm going to win this argument, but I'm still not going to win your heart, because your brain is locked into legalism, and all you're going to do is still say, well, I still don't think it's right. Well, exactly. It's nothing to do with the Bible. It's what's been programmed into you from mama and them. Thank you for coming. God bless you. I'll see you in St. Simon's. Our outreach this week, and apparently from his post he needs more, but the bridge, their building fund. So I needed messenger, which time is it? You got so excited and count that weekend though. So I will share that to you, experience people that part of being with Ernie. I don't think he'll mind me saying this. Stand on the beach with him in Jekyll Island. He said, when we first came to Church of the Now, we never thought we'd even meet you. He said, we didn't even thought, and now we've got your number in our phone. We call you, we text you, and that made me feel really good. He said, it's really awesome that we're at this place now where we really do know you. We never thought we'd ever have that opportunity. And so that's, that was really cool. I thought that was a nice observation, and right back to you, because all I remember was you were the people that, you can't miss Leona because she's so in agreement with you, when you're preaching, Eddie, when you're preaching, you automatically gravitate to the people that are kind of giving you some feedback. So I knew, oh yeah, they're that nice couple, and she's always real into what I'm saying, whatever. But now I actually know you. You know what I mean? And so that's cool. It's a good thing. My other favorite Ernie line is when we were at Gibbs Gardens, and somehow we're walking through some garden, and I said to Ernie, I said, where's Leona? He said, I don't know. She's off in the woods talking to some man somewhere. I'm like, well, apparently you're cool with it, so whatever. He didn't seem to be worried. Okay, let's see. Was that everything? All right. Y'all want to bring sweet princess up, and let's. Is she a diva? She's not asleep, is she? Oh, okay. If y'all will come on up, and then we'll have a short teaching, and then we'll get into a little meditation today. The meditation was really good last week. I love that y'all get that, and I love that we've created this world where He can come in and lead some worship, and you feel that thing that we call the anointing, and there's also this other thing that happens when we meditate that's equally as valid and awesome. Did she leave? Has Elvis left the building? Let's see, was there anything else I needed to tell y'all? So the 60 minutes on the treadmill was purgatory. It's just, y'all are walking all the time. I can't believe it's that much of it. Yeah. Now, I'm not usually when people talk, I will repeat it, but you didn't need to. You didn't need to hear that. Good. Good. Thank you, because everything is definitely connected. Everything's connected. When you, I'm in Ken's on call this week, and I'm using the opportunity because I've lost weight. There's a lot of things that just don't fit me anymore, and I don't want to keep them in my closet. I'm like, because I don't want that safety net. Do you know what I mean? But when you start, it is amazing how one thing connects to everything else, and you start getting it together. Exactly. 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 Which is why what I want to explain to people is discipline's not oppressive. It's like it's something that you enjoy, and like for me, I'm in a zone right now where every morning I get up and the scales have good news on them. It's like I look forward to, and what it does is it makes me want it. It makes it that much easier to eat right. It's like when you've worked really hard and you get on, and you're like, what? I've gained 5 pounds. Like I'm going to Krispy Kreme. This is insane. But I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all now. Should we? Okay. Why don't? Huh? Okay. Did the baby leave? Or okay. And Wellington, would you tell them? Don't tell me not to. Would you tell? It's going to get a little stuffy in here if we don't bring the air down a little bit. Don't tell me you're cold. Believe me. Yeah, just tell them to make it a little less muggy in here. No, it's not about the fan. It's about taking the humidity out of the air. That's what it is. It's not the heat. It's the humidity. All right, I may teach first, and then we'll. Okay. They're coming. All right. Oh, y'all don't stop. You people, y'all need to go meditate. You definitely are in need of meditation. Well, I don't want to get something started. Just tell me, is there a problem or just? Okay. All right, here we go. Y'all come on down. Hello, hello. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
Where are you now?
Oh, I'm stationed in San Diego right now.
All right.
Airfield.
Hello, hello. Hey. Y'all, let's come over this way. So. And tell me her full name. Dana? Tina Marie. Oh, she named after her grandmother? Cool. Cool. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? And she was born when? Okay. Okay. So y'all are just in town this weekend, which is why we're...
Actually, Renee is active duty. She's in for her birthday, which is tomorrow. And my mom, it was her idea, if possible, you could
Okay.
christen Marie while Renee was here.
Renee, if you didn't hear what Tina said, this is Renee's... and you don't see... Renee's... she's... Navy. I'm sorry, I nearly said Air Force. She's been deployed before. Right now, she's stationed in San Diego. Thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate that. Okay. So I'm just going to ask the whole family because it. Wow, 4 generations. That's awesome. Okay. All right. While the family's here, and it does indeed take a village, do you promise to do everything? You call her Tina, right? What do you? Marie. All right. Will you promise to do everything in your power to raise Marie in the way that she should go so that she can find her own spiritual path and find the right way to believe? Because the scripture says, bring up a child in the way that he or she should go. Do you promise to do that? Do you promise to do everything in your power to speak to her self-esteem? Come here, Marie. Her self-esteem and help her grow up to become the woman that she should be? All right, then if you will all just stretch your hands toward this sweet little girl. Marie, I'm going to pray for you right now, and I'm going to speak to your spirit more than you understand with your mind, okay? And I'm going to pray protection over you. I'm going to pray that you grow up to be a great woman, a woman of purpose. I speak angelic protection around you through all of your childhood. I say that you are blessed and favored, and we surround you with favor. We surround you with angels. I speak words into your spirit right now that will go with you for the rest of your life. Your life is not an accident. Your birth, she got it. She said, "Amen, I'm through." All right, we'll stand. And everything in your spirit, that you will carry these words all the days of your life. We surround you with blessing. We dedicate your life, your spirit, your soul, your body to God. Believe that the Holy Spirit abides with you all the days of your life, and we expect good things from you. And these words will continue to gestate inside you, and that they will manifest, that you will have a beautiful childhood, a beautiful teenage, that you will be a great adult woman, and you'll do great things for the world. You will make this world a better place. We call it done. Everybody in agreement said, Amen. All right. Good to see everybody. Love you so much.
Thank you. There you go. There you go. Good job, Mama.
Bless you. God bless you. Hey, BJ, you want to get a picture? What, did you got it while we're... Yeah, y'all just get one picture while we're here. Please, so you will remember. Come on this side. It's fine.
I'm going to stand by my main
Come on. Don't be hitting on the bishop. God bless you. What's that? Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? I always have a baby connection. Even yesterday, a couple places I was out and like somebody had their kid in a stroller, and the baby's just like fixate on me, you know. And I don't want to stare at them because I don't want the parents to think, you know, what's up? But, you know, like, move on, baby. Don't bond with me. No, I don't say that. All right. We speak into this atmosphere, and we say, let there be light. Those of you who are just joining us on the podcast, welcome to Metron Live, coming to you from beautiful, historic Midtown Atlanta. Metron people, give the podcast people a welcome hand. Glad that you are here. We love our YouTube audience. We love our podcast audience. We love those of you who come in person. Really appreciate you. And our series this month is Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow, Healthy Thinking and Prospering as Your Soul Prospers. I want to refer to this verse of Scripture. It's one of my favorites. I post it periodically. I've taught on it extensively. I want to go back and look at it one more time in a couple of different translations. Philippians, the letter to the Philippians was pretty much Paul's thank you letter for an offering that they had sent him. And there's not all the doctrine that you see in the Ephesian letter and some of those other letters. Each of the letters are different. That's why it's important to understand some context and some backstory. Like when Paul wrote to the Galatians, he was clearly irritated. You know, he was mad at them because they had liberty, but then they went back under the law, and he was kind of cussing them out a little bit. The Philippians is a much more cordial tone. It's, you know, thank you for your generosity. Chapter 4 is really one of the most familiar ones. Chapter 4 is where we get, verse 4 is rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Verse 13 is probably the most famous, is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Verse 19 is, but my God shall supply all of your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. What I want to look at is verse 8, and what I want to especially focus on is that after he had written the major body of the letter. There's only 4 chapters in Philippians. And so he didn't initially write it in chapters. You know, there was a French monk who cut the Bible up into chapters and verses. And I appreciate the chapters and verses because it helps us locate things, but I think sometimes they break the flow of context. We don't really understand what's being said. The reason I'm saying this is that what we call chapter 1, 2, and 3 of Philippians is the body of the letter. And in what we know of as verse 4 of chapter 4, he uses the word finally. In the King James, it's finally, my brethren. And I want to emphasize that word today because the point is all the doctrine in the world, all the prayer in the world, all the spirituality in the world, none of it's going to help you until you get your thinking right. Jesus could come in bodily form and move into your house and sleep in the bedroom with you. If you don't get your thinking right, nothing's going to change in your life. Well, God can change it. You know, your thinking changes you. And that's why he says, finally, my brethren, whatever things are just, pure, etc., etc. He's saying, after everything I've told you theologically, the bottom line is your thoughts are higher than your theology. Doctrine, is it important? Yeah, doctrine is important, not as important as thoughts. I would even go so far as to say words are important, but not as important as thoughts. Once you put a thought into a word, yes, it takes on a life of its own, but really the wheel in the middle of the wheel is what you're thinking all the time. Because you can make somebody say something under duress that they don't really mean. You can talk to people who, over the years I've had so many people lie to me in counseling appointments, me knowing what the real deal was. They sit there and lie, and I'm like, look, I'm not going to judge you, but I can't help you if you just don't tell me what's really going on, and I already know what's going on. And I'm not trying to out you or uncover you or expose you. I'm just saying I'm a safe place within the confines of this conversation. Just tell me the truth, because you're saying all the right stuff, but your thoughts are counterproductive. Let me show this to you this is the Passion Translation. This is a relatively new translation to me, but so far I really, really like it. And here's how he says it in the Passion. It says, so keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real. I'll say that again. Keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real. How many people go through their lives believing something about the world or about themselves or about their family or about whatever that's not authentic? I've used this analogy before, and I know Gone with the Wind is politically incorrect, but it will make my point. The whole arc of the story is that Scarlett is in love with, she's married to Rhett Butler, but she's in love with Ashley Wilkes. And this whole thing, she's had this delusion that he really loves her and not his wife, Melanie. And at the end of the movie, when Melanie dies, this movie came out in 1939, so I can probably give you a spoiler alert at this point. When she dies and Ashley is just distraught, she looks at him and she goes, oh, you really do love her. So she says, so all these years I've believed something that's not even real. And I'm like, duh, you got freaking Clark Gable at home, and you're over here obsessing over Leslie Howard. What's wrong with you? But then she has this moment of clarity, and she runs home, but it's too late. He's over it, and that's when he says, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, and that, he moves on. And there's a lot of movies that are like that. At the end of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, where the whole premise of the movie is she thinks that Betty Davis's character thinks that she's the one that crippled her sister, but at the end, this Joan Crawford's character is dying, and she says, I need to tell you, you didn't do it, Jane. And like the truth is too much, and Betty Davis goes, stop. I do that sometimes when somebody's telling me something I don't want to hear. I'm like, stop. But then, Avery, if you're watching, that's what I do when Avery tells me stuff I should do about my taxes. I'm like, stop. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, but there's this very poignant line where Jane looks at Blanche and she goes, so you mean all this time we could have been friends? It's a really sad commentary on people who go through their whole life believing something that's just not true. So I love this, that he says, keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind. And fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always. Then I want to show it to you in the Message Bible. I've showed it to you before, but I want to show it again. Philippians 4:8. It says, summing it all up, friends. The same way of saying finally. Summing it all up, friends, I say you'll do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse. That's a piece of advice that probably every one of us could stand to hear every few days, because we live in a world that's constantly wanting to pull us into its negative vortex. Social media has amped that up to where there's so much negativity, so much strife, so much arguing that I don't know how people live in it all day long. I don't know how they do it. I don't mind making a valid point. If it's something that's really strong, I'll stand up for it. I'm not telling anybody else what to do or not to do with their social media platform. But you can't just stay in that all day long. That just negative, combative, confrontational. It's just not good for you. It's like, I know with me, I think I've met my quota of confrontation. I could tell somebody was trying to start something with me the other day. I could just tell they were just at me on some of my quotes. And I wanted to say, this is somebody I watched grow up in the church. I wanted to say, you're like a son to me. If you think you're going to get me into a fight with you over politics, you're sadly mistaken. I mean, I'm not even going to go there with you. I know what, believe me, I see all of your other posts. I know what you believe. If you're trying to get me in on that fight, you're the wrong guy. Scroll down and look at my pretty pictures. Bishop, are you afraid? Oh, hell no. I'm not afraid. I'll say what I need to say. But I also know that if you just argue about everything, then when there really does come something that needs some attention, you lose the impact of it. Because after a while, you become a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. If it's always a rant, if it's always confrontation, if it's always argue, then when there really is something that requires you to principally stand up for, you've been defanged. It doesn't really carry an impact. So you have to choose your battles. I'm not telling you shouldn't stand up for stuff. And I admire the people that get in the fray. I'm like, well, more power to you. That's cool. I don't have the stomach for it. I gotta breathe and say my stuff and then move on. But I like this idea that at the end of the doctrine, at the end of the philosophy, at the end of the theology, what really matters is how you think. I'm going to tell you, if you think the world's out to get you, guess what? The world's going to be out to get you. 2 or 3 times this week, I've just been in and out of this zone. Like there was one day this week that it's like every thought I had, the universe accommodated me on it. Like I was going to work out, and I was meeting my trainer at another place, and I was running late, and I thought, I want to go inside and get a coffee in there. I thought, I need about 10 extra minutes. As soon as I had the thought, he says, we're running about 10 minutes late. Okay, good. And the whole day was like that. Like anytime I was nearly anxious about something, I would think about it, and the situation would be resolved. Now, you could say, oh, well, that's just coincidental. Well, fine, if that's the way you want to think. It's just that every time I would think, oh, this would be better if this would happen, then that would happen. And I think that there's an art to it. I think the more that's why we've talked about intuition a lot lately. And thanks for reminding me about the painting. That made me feel really good. But it's important to be intuitive about where you drive and where you go to eat and what you do. All those decisions. I don't think it just has to be. By the way, Eddie, I loved your post about the devil last night, because you're exactly right. If you believe in that, if you believe in spiritual warfare like that, you do create it. I'm telling you, you create it. So is the devil real? Yeah. If you're in that mode, you will create the adversary, which is what the word devil means. Right. Exactly. Precisely. Even if you believe literal fallen angel out of heaven, even if you believe all of that, then I'll give you John 12. Jesus says, well, now the God of this world is cast down. This idea that we're in this constant battle with the forces of darkness, that's in people's minds. I'm not saying there's not good and evil, but the manifestation of evil is what people think about things. Evil thoughts create evil. It's not, yeah. I just have 2 other things to show you, and then we're going to meditate. Some of you might be familiar with this guy. They made a movie about him. I just like this quote. It's simple, but he says, if you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. And let me pull in the walking this. I was reading some quotes last night, and Friedrich Nietzsche, he said every powerful thought is born from walking. He was talking about how just the exercise of walking puts your mind in a better frame. Those of you that may deal with depression, I'm not telling you to get off your meds prematurely or whatever, but seriously, if you start feeling negative forces, push back with a walk. Go outside, get some sun on your skin. It's not gonna give you cancer to go out for 10 minutes and get some sunshine and breathe and change your environment. Like, I know if I ever have, I rarely dream, and I rarely have a bad dream. But if I do, and you have that moment where you wake up and you're like, oh God, that was a dream, that wasn't real. I will make myself get up out of bed, and I'll go get a glass of water or something. I don't want to lay there in it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've just had this real negative, dark thought in a dream, and I just don't want to buddy up to it and then roll over and go back to sleep and start dreaming it again. I might even get up and turn on the TV or something. It's like I've got to break that current, because if I lay here, I'm going to just keep thinking about what I just dreamt, and I don't want to exalt that. And then one last thing, James Allen, who wrote "As a Man Thinketh," it says, the man who sows wrong thoughts and deeds and prays that God will bless him is in the position of a farmer who, having sown tares, asks God to bring forth for him a harvest of wheat. That which ye sow, ye reap. Now, let me tell you something. That's a very matter-of-fact quote, but that's it right there. thank God for prayer chains and prayer whatever. And I like BJ was having an issue yesterday, and he said that he wrote on he was having a physical issue. He said this is an experiment in agreement. And I like that. That was like and it worked. I see a lot of people asking for prayer. Which this is one thing that always, I don't know what to make of this, and I've seen it several times this week in my Facebook feed, calling all prayer warriors. Why do they call it prayer warriors? What do you? But I can understand if you think you're fighting demons, like casting out demons isn't prayer. Prayer is supposed to be talking to God. So how are you like, our Father who art in heaven? I mean, what are you like, prayer warrior? Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you? It's just one of those bogus things that people say. I think what they really mean is pray fervently. But how else do you, I mean, how else do you?
Most people heard that preached and they picked it up.
Right. It's like, I love Kevin James, the guy that was on King of Queens, and he did a stand-up years ago. He's got a current one now on Netflix, but the one he did years ago called Sweat the Small Stuff is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And he's talking about seeing a movie with his girlfriend, and she's already seen the movie. And so he's sitting there, and she's like, watch this part. And he's like, okay. He said, no, watch this part. And he's like, I'm watching. No, really watch. And he's like, I'm like trying to, like, how do I really watch? I mean, I'm looking at the screen. And that's what I think people are about prayer sometimes. Like, no, really pray. Like, what do you think? I mean, if you ask me for my agreement and I say I'm in agreement with you, I can't think of anything more powerful than that. I could speak in tongues real loud, like, I'm in agreement. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think maybe what people are saying is that grasp the severity of it. But it's going to take the same amount of, I don't know why I'm referring to so many movies today, but, Luke Skywalker could levitate the rocks, but he couldn't levitate a spaceship, and Yoda says the difference is all in your mind. So, I mean, I hope you don't get something life-threatening, but, I'm going to pray the same way. It's the same. It's the words and the connection that we have, whatever. And I like this that he says, that's fine that you want to pray for God to bless you, but God can't supersede your thoughts. And I know this is true. It's such a kind of benign statement that it's easy to miss the profundity of that, because there's so many people who are just totally living in this God zone. I want God to fix it. God, God this, God that. And we joke about it. Sometimes when something good happens, we'll say, won't he do it or whatever. And I'm all for giving God the praise. But you should, on the heels of that, say, won't I do it? Because it's how I'm thinking that's going to determine how this thing plays out. And let me tell you something. Jesus spent time with his disciples. It didn't change all of their thinking. So if you're thinking that, well, I had this great experience with God and it's going to change the way I think, not necessarily. I mean, I grew up in a world where people were very emotional and they'd come to the altar and pray, but they didn't necessarily change. They might have vented emotionally. They might have felt really bad about what they are going through or whatever. But until you change how you think about your situation, all the prayer in the world's not going to fix it. It's just not. And I think it's like this Christian urban legend, like, well, just give it to God. Well, no, you have to change how you think about it. And that may require some effort. I do believe this, and I've taught this earlier this year. I do believe, it doesn't happen overnight. I do think you can change your brain chemistry to be proactive. It takes some effort, but you can get to the point, and people who are negative think you're just being a Pollyanna or something, but it's not. Like, if you're going through something and I text you believing for the best, I really mean that. That's the highest thing I can say to you. And I'm not always sure exactly what the best will be. But what it says, what I mean by that is the best possible outcome for this situation. That's what I'm believing for. And I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say that I know what that is. I might know. I might have some ideas. But when I say believing for the best, I mean I'm proactive to say that you're going to get through this. If I tell you this too shall pass, I really do believe this is temporary, and I'm sure it's painful or it's difficult or it's uncomfortable, whatever, but you will get through it. I mean, something as simple as somehow I cut my thumb the other day, and it's just you don't realize how much you use your thumb until you're hit, and it didn't stop me from, I went through my day, but every time I was like, good Lord, what did I do? How did I do that? It was just that little place where it just hurt. But then I thought, well, it'll pass. It'll heal. And it did. If I do that, it's a little sore, but it's not painful. And it's just, I know it's a cut on my thumb, but it's like, that's the way everything is. It's like, well, it's going to hurt for a couple of days, and then it'll be fine, and I'll move on. You have to think that way. And I could tell you, I wasted a lot of time praying for people that didn't think right. Because I could tell after the prayer, their conversation showed me that nothing had changed about their thinking. You know why I put the emphasis on teaching now? And I do have music, but it's all about teaching. You know why I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but the reason I don't lay hands on people or whatever, I did that for so many years, and I saw very little change. I didn't see enough significant change. Now I think, if I can't change the way that you think, I can anoint you with oil and pray for you until you're greasy. It's not going to change you. Now, sometimes a prayer can change the way that you think. I will give it that. I have been prayed for by some people that I felt different about the situation after they prayed, because either I had respect for them or I believed that they were genuinely in agreement, and their prayer did change my thought pattern. So I'm not throwing prayer out. I'm saying that people throw it around a lot, and it's kind of meaningless. A lot of times when people ask for prayer, they're really asking for sympathy. They're really, and there's nothing wrong. Look, if you're going through something, there's nothing wrong with wanting somebody to share in your human experience. That's not necessarily a negative thing. You just have to learn how to communicate it without letting it work against you. That's why I say be careful what you post online, because it takes on a life of its own. If you're in pain or you're sick or you're depressed or whatever, a cry for help is one thing. And if you need it, reach out for it. But be careful what you exalt, because when the internet is so powerful, when you put it out there, it's just multiplied. So we all need a human connection. If you need your connection, get it. But then don't stay in that. You need to say, all right, thank you for reaching out, and now I'm okay now. I'm better now. And give your testimonies. I appreciated Ray posted, how many years has it been now? You posted about your, yeah. Because you just recently passed the anniversary of it, right? And he had posted, well, that's not negative. That's positive. That's like, oh, wow, half a decade has come and gone. That's great. Patrick posted when I reshared it, of a similar thing. That's good. That's saying I'm exalting health. I'm exalting, the new lease on life that it gave me, whatever. That I can agree with. Somebody just saying, I don't feel good today. And do you notice how much people do it? I'll scroll down, and it's like, ugh, I feel like crap today. Like, okay, well, I'm in agreement with you then that you feel like crap. I guess that's why you put it out there, for my agreement. Like, okay, I got you. Believing for the crappiest, like, hope you have the crappiest outcome you possibly can have. Um, I told you, he's in Europe. I don't think he'll see this, but I told you about one time we'd gone up to my friend Howie's place, and he was, just when I got there, I walked in, and he was dealing with something with his refrigerator was broken. He's not there all the time at his cabin. I walked in, I said, what's going on? He said, every time I come up here, something goes wrong with the house. I said, well, stop saying every time I come up here. And, he's like my brother. He said, don't you come in here with that Kenneth Copeland stuff. And we were like, we got into it immediately. Ken walked in, he said, what happened? I said, well, I've been here 2 minutes and we're in a fight. And I said, fine. I set myself in agreement that every time you come up to this cabin, something horrible will happen. Okay? Does that make you happy? Next time we're up there, we're backing out of the driveway that he's backed out of 10 million times. He smashes into a tree, breaks the window out, gives us all whiplash, and I'm like, I think it's time for us to agree for something different. Let's start saying, every time we come up here, something wonderful happens. How about that? And ever since then, when I say, let's watch our words, he's like, I got you. We're right. It's all good. Because those words like every and this always happens, or you always, or you never, you're constantly setting your internal alarm clock. You're saying, you always do this, or this always happens, or things never work out for me. Like when you're saying those kind of things, you're totally preparing your future. It's those little off-the-cuff things you say that you really deeply believe. They set the parameters for your life. Not those things that people get you to say when you're, if I've got you repeating after me. That might make you feel better, but what you really... I tell you you'll know what you really believe is when you go to the mailbox tomorrow and there's a bill that you didn't expect coming. What's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? That's what you really believe. And that's how you define integrity. Integrity is what you do when nobody else is around to see that you're on your best behavior. And we all have those frustrating days. I mean, this morning a couple things happened where I was in a hurry and I dropped something and I closed the drawer and something exploded and I was like, seriously? It wasn't big enough for it to ruin the morning, but I was like, next time start earlier and you won't be slamming stuff around here, unnecessarily breaking stuff and making a mess that you got to go back after Metron and clean up today. So I know what it's like, just be like, oh, really? Are you really this morning you're doing this? But that's because I was in a hurry. Couldn't decide what I wanted to wear. That wasn't the devil. That was... Now, you know what I did say this morning when I was when I was not stressed, I was stressed adjacent. It's because my closet's all torn up and I got stuff everywhere. That's why. And I said to myself this morning, this is why you get your clothes together on Saturday night, so that you don't do this on Sunday morning. You know about this. Oh, thou fashioned devil, yay. But that was on me. That's because I went to bed last night and had no clue what I was going to wear this morning, and I was going to come in jeans. I thought, no, I'm dedicating a baby. I better dress up a little. And I should have planned more. Fortunately, it came together. But it was a little stressful there for a minute. Let's meditate on this for a minute. If we can bring the lights down. And if you're new among us, don't be uncomfortable with meditation. If you want to leave, you can, but I prefer you all stay. Wherever my magic candle is. If you're here, if you'll put both feet on the floor. Did you get anything out of this today? Did you get anything out of this teaching? Did you need it? Well, I want you to meditate it. Part of the meditation we're doing this month is to get us in the flow for St. Simon's. Actually, I would like that Keith actually would like that fan now. Thanks. Let's put both feet on the floor. If you can clear your lap. Thank you. That's my magic trick. Does it work for you? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You can do a mudra if you want to, or just put palms up, but it's important that you empty your lap and just keep a flow. And sit up as straight as you can. Go ahead, Charles, if you'll start some music. And we're going to concentrate on our breathing. We're going to breathe in through our nose, hold it, and then we're going to exhale through our mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Sit up straight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Just stay conscious of your breath, of your breathing. Let's come into a place of peace. Let's come into a place of tranquility. Positive words have been spoken here today. Just let them wash over you. Scripture says the entrance of His words give light. Let the light that's on these words permeate your being. Let the music take you to a relaxed state. Just be consistent in your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale in. If your thoughts wander a little bit, don't stress about it. Just gently bring them back. You're in control of your thoughts. This music has a definite beat to it. I actually kind of like to breathe in tandem with the music. If that works for you, if you're rhythmic. You hear that beat? Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. See how you can do that with the music? Breathe in. Breathe out. There's been a lot of harmony here today. Even the simple chords that Alex was playing back and forth on that last song. Same kind of rhythm and meter. That's why we're going to meditate at the ocean, because those waves have that kind of rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. Now wean off of my voice and go into your own place of silence. Stay in the flow. Let your subconscious breathe. Let the real you breathe. Contact with God. Make contact with Spirit. Make contact with light. Just stay right where we are. Just play a little something more. We might not do a full one again, but let's just. This music doesn't have quite as much rhythm in it, so find a different vibration, a different energy. Both are important. This one's a little more free-flowing. You can breathe with it, though. Strong energy on the word yes. I feel like I want to say it, so I'm going to say it in rhythm like this. Yes. 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 If you feel like you want to say it with me, say it. Yes. Means something different to you. Yes. But there's something about the yes. Scripture says all the promises of God are yes. Yes and amen. Yes. 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 Receive revelation. Yes. Be enlightened. Yes. 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 Yes, yes, Say yes to life. Say yes to health. Say yes to abundance. Say yes to all good things coming to you. Let that yes permeate your spirit, your soul, every cell of your body. Let all of your cells line up and say yes. Yes to healing and health. Yes to renewed energy. Yes to joy. Yes to happiness. Say yes. No longer resist it. Say yes. If God is for you, who can be against you? The universe is on your side. Get in the flow of that yes. 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 It's good. Start gradually coming out of it while the music kind of starts to taper off. Very refreshing. Let's all stand. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Charles, let's play the ending for the YouTube audience, and then I'll speak a blessing over. Did you get anything out of this today? Man, that meditation was like a soul massage, wasn't it?
Contributing to Metron is quick and easy.
Good stuff.
Simply text the amount you would like to give to 404
Easy peasy.
620-5044. And now you can give anytime by texting this number. You will then receive a one-time registration form that links your phone number and opens your account at SimpleGive. Complete the form and you will then receive a successful registration and donation page. For additional information on your account, visit bishandthenow.com and click the Support tab. Then, My Online Donation. When you contribute to Metron, you're also supporting the charity or organization of the month.
If you have a check, make it to JESM. Danny will receive it.
Thank you for your investment in Metron.
If you have cash, pay it forward. You might want to bless somebody here. You might want to bless Alex. You're beautiful. You're significant. Your life matters. You're well. You're whole. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to fear. You don't have to live in regret. You don't have to live in anxiety. You're fearless. You're strong. You're able. You're mighty. You're powerful. You have hope. You have a vision. You have a reason to live. You have things to look forward to. You're going to have a beautiful week. You're going to have a beautiful day. And you're going to wake up tomorrow saying, this is the day the Lord has enabled me to make. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Love you. See you next week.